today I'm going to go in a bit more detail on number 1, recruit and engage volunteers. And I think it's important to understand this stage is where connection with a potential volunteer begins. Volunteers want insight and information about the potential role that you would like them to fill. Organisations want to know if the volunteer is the right fit, and the engagement works when volunteers are placed in roles that match both their needs and those of the organisation. So again, each practice area has a volunteer needs right at the beginning. So you're always framing it around what does your volunteer potentially need and how can you craft a role or an opportunity to suit their skills and interests so that you keep them for as long as you need them. So recruiting volunteers is 2 key distinct stages. There is the attract, and that's being welcoming, and that includes in all of your advertising, whether that's online, radio, newsletters, face-to-face, whatever that looks like, being welcoming, warm, friendly, providing the right information, and really early on setting those expectations about what is expected from the volunteer in a role. But also, just as importantly, what are the expectations of the volunteer from you? So what do they get in return for their volunteering with you? So having mutual expectations set early on, ideally before they've even spoken to you, is really helpful. And the second key stage is recruit. So this is getting to know the candidate, deciding if they're the right person for the role. I guess the most common methods of attracting your potential volunteers or your candidates are through advertising. It might be referrals via volunteers, and past and present volunteers, and digital media. I would focus a lot on word of mouth. So we know from our state of volunteering reports that are free on our website, which we run every 2 years, since about 2016, word of mouth has featured really highly in one of the most effective methods of recruiting volunteers. So tracking how you recruited volunteers is really helpful, helps you focus your efforts where they have the most impact. It's also really useful to know where things might be falling off as well. So for example, if they have to fill in some paperwork, do you see a drop off in volunteer the sort of process? Do you lose people? If you can tighten things like that up would be helpful. But it's useful to find out where in that recruitment process you are keeping people really engaged and interested, and where they might be falling off and dropping off. So before you go out, you really need to be clear on exactly how many volunteers you're looking for. How many roles do you need to fill to make sure you can meet your mission? Because we all know as volunteer managers and coordinators and leaders, you're already stretched very thin. So the more you can work with your existing pool of support, the better. To prepare information that can be shared with candidates, you could share that with them before you've even met them, to give them a little context, have a little bit of homework, a little bit of reading to do so they understand the bigger picture and how they might fit into that context. An explanation about the impact. I can't really bang on about how important this is, because you can use this on your website, you can use this in your reporting, you can use this everywhere. What is the impact? Not just how many people you help, not just how many trees you plant. What's the impact? As human beings, we learn from oral history, we learn from talking to each other. And the more you can get better at telling those impact stories, the more you'll bring in the people that you need as well. And prepare your interview materials, make sure people are ready. Make sure you're ready if you're interviewing someone, but make sure anyone else helping you with that is ready as well. They've got the right questions. Ideally, have the same questions for everybody, so you have a consistent experience for everyone. And obviously advertise the roles. That's the most important part. But you got to do all that stuff beforehand to make sure you're really ready. Don't panic and go, "Oh, we need people." Be a bit more strategic about what it is you need to have laid out, what plans you need laid out before you even go out to the market, so you're really switched on and onto it.